Hello, my name is Cindy and welcome to my channel. I just would like today to do a little book report and a little update on some books that I had recommended for the library and some friends had recommended. So first of all, I would like to talk about our local library. The local library in our town is completely funded by the taxpayers. The building that our library is in is really awesome. It's a historical type building and it's really cute. It's not huge, but we have, I don't know, a thousands of books in our library. We have a children's section in the basement where my kids have gone to story time, and we read so many books in the children's section of the library. And upstairs, there are lots of videos, DVDs, lots of resources for adults. And I've gotten a lot of self-help books, how to build a chicken coop, how to knit and do certain crafts, and a lot of crafting books in the first floor of the library. Also, magazines, other resources. They also have computers and a printer. You can go and print stuff out. And upstairs, there is called the young adult section. And I don't know, I kind of wish that the young adult section was more on the first floor because I think that young adults still need a little bit of supervision. And anyway, for my family, I ended up buying a lot of books through the years because when we homeschooled, we had some books that we actually wanted to purchase for our family and maybe pass down to the other kids. So I would do a lot of purchasing my own books. And within the last few years, I've been going back to the library and realizing that when I stepped away from the library and many others in my town that did the same thing, a lot of the good books that we had were getting kind of circulated out of the library and newer books were being brought in. And I don't know, I just felt like it was my duty as a citizen to keep a better eye on what is happening at the library. I started going to our library trustee meetings and just kind of talking and finding out what the policies are in the library. And I realized that they gauge the books that go in and out according to the patrons and who comes into the library, what books they check out, and what books they request maybe to buy or to get interlibrary loan and that kind of thing. So I realized, hey, my librarian will purchase books that I request. So I have made a video on my channel on how to request a book. And our library has purchased quite a few books that I have requested within the last couple of months, which is cool. One book that I requested is called Hearts of Fire, and I have the book cover on my phone because I did return it yesterday. And this is a book about 8 women in the underground church and their stories of costly faith. And I am telling you, the stories are astounding. How these women can just hold on to their faith, and not just hold on to their faith, but to see the miracles of God in some really bad situations. And I just would totally recommend that book. I got the book to read, but you can also get the book on Audible, which is cool because I do a lot of driving with my kids, driving them from place to place. So that is a good way to listen to a book and to kind of read a book while you're driving. And so that's what I've done on Audible. You can also get a lot of books on YouTube. And I've done that before too. I don't know if that one's on YouTube or not, but I would totally recommend getting that book. It kind of gives you strength for today when you think, hey, I'm all alone, life is really hard, And then you look at what these people have done for their faith. They stood up for their faith. They were pushed to almost death, and they still held on to their faith. And it's an encouragement to us to stand for what we believe in. And I haven't been physically hurt for my faith at this point. And so it kind of gives me encouragement to just stand up for my faith, do what's right, and don't feel like, just to say, hey, it's okay. Another book series that we got, which I do have the book here, and this is the Brave series. And you may have seen Kirk Cameron on, I don't know, I see him on Facebook. He did the campfire revivals during 2020. And he also has this series called The Brave Books, and Jack Posobiec, art by Ali El-Zani. Okay, so this one is called The Island of Free Ice Cream. And all of the books, the Brave books, are for young children, but they are also topics, like civics type topics. This one says on the back here, the animals of Rushington are happy until the wolves promise free ice cream. Asher the fox doubts that the wolves can deliver on their promise, which springboards him into a wild adventure exploring wealth, poverty, and wonders of a free market. Follow Asher's exploits and experience the lesson with your own family through the games and discussion questions included in the Brave Challenge at the end of the book. Now, I did read this book. You can also become a Brave family by going to www.bravebooks.us to subscribe and receive a conservative picture book every month, paving the way for fun and meaningful family time. Now, what's interesting is you can go to the beginning of the book. There is a barcode, and that kind of brings you to a video, and it kind of gives you an introduction to the Brave book series. Welcome to Freedom Island, home of the brave, where good battles evil and truth prevails. It's up to you to defend our great nation. Help the animals of Rushington save their city by completing the Brave Challenge at the end of the books. So here is Freedom Island and the story all about free ice cream. I think about that saying, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Well, I kind of feel like kids would need to have this read to them more than once, because I'm not sure they would really completely get the concept behind that they're trying to teach, that there's no such thing as free, that we need to it kind of says, once they give you whatever it was that you thought you wanted, then the whole place goes dark, and then we have to fight for our freedom again. So it's kind of good lessons to learn, but I think it is a little bit advanced for young children, but it doesn't hurt to get them started on the cost of freedom, that we do need to stand up for freedom. And it's kind of cool. At the end, there's like a envelope here, and this one doesn't have a sticker in it. Like if you get this as a family, you have this little, those crazy wolves are back in Rushington spreading their lies. Complete the 3 missions below to save the day. Prepare battle by updating your map with the character and flag stickers included. Defeat the evil wolves in the Brave Challenge and celebrate your victory with an epic reward. To apply what you've learned, set up a lemonade stand and sell some goodies of your own. Freedom Island needs your help. Are you ready to be brave? So it gives you some action items, which is kind of cool, to be involved in your community. My kids have done that. They've sold lemonade, snow cones. They've made cookies and sold them through the neighborhood. And all of those things do help them to realize that it takes work to make money, and how much work that entails, and kind of gave them the entrepreneurial spirit, and it helped them throughout their life. So, and then there's like some action items here in the book to your family. Brave Books has created the Brave Challenge to drive home key lessons and values illustrated in the storybook. So you have some brave challenges, some things you can do together, games, things that you can discuss about the book. So everything's built in. It's not just a story. Here's another action item. You could spend a lot of time just in this one book. There are several brave books. There's a book called Elephants Are Not Birds, Little Lives Matter, and more. So I would encourage you to check out at your library. Do you have these brave books? If you do, check them out, read them, and encourage others to read them. Therefore, they're not going to do any good sitting on a shelf. And if you check them out of your local library, it shows that you love and appreciate these books and that they are worthy of circulation. There are several books in the library. If you go in there, you browse through the library and you see several books that you open it up to the back and they're not checked out very many times. That means people aren't reading them. So this one's brand new. It's already been checked out twice, and I know that other people are waiting for them. So these are good books that should be circulated by the patrons in your town, in my town. Please go and see if there are any brave books on the shelves. Check them out. Read them for yourself. Recommend them to your friends. Recommend them to people who have kids. Say, hey, I saw these really great books at the library, the brave books. Check them out. They're good lessons for children. Not just a story, but really good lessons. And so that is my encouragement to you. See what good books you have at your library and check them out. Keep them circulating. Let your librarian know that you love these really good books. And in the next video, I'm going to talk about these books that I requested at my library. These are books by a New Hampshire citizen. They are brand new. He just wrote many of them. 2023. So yes, this is really new. So this has just barely gotten to our library. So this is good for our library. I'm the first one to check it out because I requested that we would buy it. So they put it on reserve so that I can read it. And he writes really succinctly, okay? It's not a bogged down reading. It's pretty quick reading. This one is about the Croydon budget battle. In New Hampshire, there was a town that they voted on the school budget. And we have like town votings in March. And this town voted on the budget and they voted on cutting the budget. And a lot of the people were distressed because it was way lower than they could even imagine for their education, for their kids. So it's a good story, and the intention was that we can educate the kids for less money with a better education instead of, doing it like we've always done it. Let's try doing something different. But the people in the community that had kids didn't really like that. And so they pushed back. They got a special meeting and they reversed that decision. So it's a really good story. I saw a lot of videos on YouTube by citizen journalists. And so I'm ready to read the facts of this story. I have met Ian Underwood and his wife in person in my state. And I was really impressed with their desire to break the status quo. It wasn't that they didn't want to educate the children. They just wanted to do it in a different way and maybe even a more effective way. So I think that's something that would be of benefit to consider, but it didn't really work out. But it was definitely at least an exposure to the idea. Then he has another book called Barefoot Learning: What Shoes Can Teach Us About Schools, Rethinking Fairness in Education, and Educationism in Defense of Learning. So he has some really good ideas that we need to maybe think outside the box about education and maybe see what we can do as a community to better educate our kids. So I haven't really read all of these, so I look forward to reading them and maybe coming back for another book report. What books do you love? You can request books for your library. You know, so many people right now are complaining about what's happening at the library. And we can make a difference by going in and requesting the books that we would like to use, that we would like to read. And so get familiar with what's going on in your community. It's a great way to meet new people and bring in your perspective as a community member to your local library. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you check out my video about how to reserve books and how to request books at your library. And I used my library as an example. And I hope you check out my other book reports. I did a book report about the Kaylee McEnany book recently. And I hope to put on more book reports as we go along, because books are still important. Some people say, let's throw away the library. You know, we don't really need it. We have our phones, we have the Kindle app, we have Audible, we have YouTube has a lot of books that are even read, and you can listen to those for free. But the problem with the electronics, in my opinion, and many others have mentioned it, is they are distracting. You know, you get notifications. Even myself, I go to my phone, okay, I'm going to listen to a book, but then I get notifications. Oh, so-and-so made a new video, or, you know, so-and-so sending me a Facebook message, and then I get sidetracked. It's nice when you have a book and there's nothing else that can, you know, come into play while you're reading a book or doing something online. So I do appreciate the library, and I hope that we can work together to make it the best place possible for the future of our children and the future of our community. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a great day.